Well, good morning. I'm super excited this morning because we have a very special guest who is super hard to pin down. So I'm grateful of your time this morning, Mark. We're going to get into city versus country, what's been going on in the latest market movements down in your Sydney area of the Northern Beaches. We're going to cover off your past, present and future, and all of that in just a couple of moments. Mark, well, it's not 5 o'clock, but you're a very hard man to pin down. You've got a lot going on down in the Sydney marketplace. Super grateful to have you on live at 5. So just want to learn a little bit more about what's going on down in your marketplace.
Pumping like a beetroot.
Look, you run quite a massive business down on the Northern Beaches. We catch up from time to time at these large leadership conferences, and we share some content when things get a little bit interesting in the marketplace. So our listeners want to know what is happening down in Sydney. We get all of the media reports of lockdowns and everyone's locked up, but there's quite a bit going on down in your marketplace. Did you want to share some of that?
Yeah, look, I think I have to use the COVID word, which is which I find often a waste of time because you get stuck in the web. But I guess the reality is the last 18 months, people have made a big change with their lives. They've had a sea change or a tree change, and they've sort of sought out a better life. And that's meant we've had a lot of people leave the Northern Beaches of Sydney. So a lot of people have left to come your way. They've headed south or they've headed north. They've gone Coffs Harbour, Port Macquarie, Newcastle, Hunter. Just got rid of some debt. Still managed to pin down their same job or a new job, and they've left. But we're seeing a lot of people come to our Northern Beaches as well.
We're seeing quite a bit of transition with people in the Hunter looking to go to the Northern Beaches for, different work reasons, family reasons, wanting to transition to the city. So it's been interesting to see that, as you mentioned, this COVID word has just caused a lot of movement. So we see this transition equal ways of Hunter to Sydney, Sydney to Hunter. But in your particular area, it has been a lot of movement going on the Northern Beaches, and everyone's talking about it. So have you seen an uptick in the number of people that are moving, in a sense that, like in a normal busy period?
Look, we had a team meeting the other day where we just crunched numbers in different suburbs and units versus houses and volume and rental yields and days on market and all those things. I guess to answer your question, we're seeing houses have had a big uptick in our area. So I like using a rolling 10-year average. So it's bit of heart attack material looking at weekly clearance rates. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's holidays, it's everywhere. But when you look at a rolling 10-year average of a real estate market, it's pretty interesting. We've done, now to give you an idea, not everyone's great with maths, but 100% rolling average means we've doubled our property prices over in that 10-year period. Most of our suburbs, our house suburbs where they don't have a lot of units, have actually experienced a 200% rolling 10-year average, which means not only has it doubled, but it's doubled again in this last 10 years.
That's crazy. Novak Properties has been around for a long time. Like, you guys have got a large rent roll, commercial, residential, you're in everything in that area. So is there different movements taking place from commercial to residential? Or are they similar in the way that the market price is coming up and down in those types of properties?
Look, strata commercial and freehold commercials operating a little bit differently. I think that it's been the commercial rental market's actually done better in COVID, because I think people have localised more and they've sort of decentralised from the city with their commercial businesses more. So there's been a bit of uptick there, but sales prices not bad, but not unbelievable. Certainly nothing close to what units and houses have been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're seeing similar in the Hunter that commercial has been a little bit tough in our area, but we can start to see some signs of recovery as new business is bringing a lot of new ideas. Obviously, we've had to rethink all of our business models, and you're getting some phenomenal, I guess, new businesses coming to the area that are going to bring a kind of a different vibe. We're seeing a lot of even Sydney people come to our area that bring some great ideas and a good approach to our commercial area. So it's good to see that new energy coming into an area too.
It's like a paintbrush coming to a canvas. It's more paintbrushes, good paintbrushes.
Absolutely. So step us back a little bit, Mark. You've been in real estate, I believe, you since you were about 2.5 years old, and you've probably been selling properties since you're about 5. So take us back to your beginning from Novak Properties, what you're doing now and where you're headed.
So started when I was 17. Father was a real estate agent for 30 years, but I had a really old dad, so he had me when he was 50. 46, and so a bit of a heritage. My uncle was a real estate agent. My mum used to be a real estate agent. She had a couple of years stint in property management, so a bit in the heritage. And then went in at 17, opened our agency at 23, and now fast tracking where 19 years later, it's been exciting. So where we're going, that's a big question you asked. Where we're going, so we got 45 people in our office full time. There's no sort of commission, only fly by nighters. I think we're pretty much just I think it's just more of the same. Like, probably sounds a bit boring, but it's, we do off the plan. We do projects, we do commercial, like you mentioned, a lot of property management. I just think, just grow slow and look after our community, our customers, and just more of the same.
I think, your reputation is that you're a solid performer. Your office has got a brilliant reputation in the Northern Beaches area for innovation. And everywhere you go throughout your area, you see signs of your movement. You're an avid social media player with making sure that you're delivering great content out to the marketplace and keeping abreast of all of those trend shifts and changes. I see a lot going on even in your semi-lifestyle type areas as well. It seems as if people are investing a lot of money back into their homes now that they can't travel. Are you seeing a good amount of that home investment before people are bringing their properties to market?
Yeah, I think I've got to be really careful what I'm saying, because there is a lot of people going through a lot of pain out there in particular sectors of our economy. But I think the reality is that, it probably, I guess if you had to put a number on it, it's probably 5 or 10% of people that are adversely affected, don't have jobs and got their hands tied behind their back for a period, hopefully not much longer. But certainly that 90% of people that are sort of relatively unscathed in their work and their income earning ability, those guys have got $1 more in their pocket than today than before when COVID started. And I always I love that, ask clients that question, honest question: do you have $1 more in your pocket or $1 less in your pocket since COVID came? And unanimously, those 90%, not those affected 5 or 10%, they all say, yeah, we're better off. We actually got $1 more in our pocket or more. We're better off. So those guys are wanting to spoil themselves because they haven't been able to do the things that they love, and they're looking around to see what they love that they can do. And one of those things is improving their home. We're seeing a lot of that. Tradies are hard to get. Renovations are everywhere. The youths are flying in and out of the suburbs doing work. So I reckon it's the biggest renovation period I've seen in real estate for people in their own homes.
You know, that's very similar to our area. I've never seen so much trade activity on site. I've never struggled to get tradies on site. We're also managing, 15 to 20 renovations for our clients ourselves because they can't get access to their area or their property. So they're relying on that guidance through from their agency to actually prepare their home for the market. I've never seen such a focus on real estate and bringing the right product to market as what we're seeing now. And to answer your dollar more, dollar less question, I think that equally we have a lot of people hurting in our area. We've also seen a lot of people completely shift their way of thinking too, which has probably helped them for the better in a sense that they were wasting a lot of time and a lot of money in areas that probably weren't important to their lives. And that's been a huge change where this scenario has caused them to be super focused on, well, what is actually important to us and where do we need to be, and are we going to continue to waste our time and our money in places that aren't important? Are you seeing a sort of similar vibe amongst your clients?
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what is the trend shift looking forward? Like this is normally our busy part of the year. So we're sort of coming into a spring period, really ramping up into longer days, and you generally see a lot more activity. How are you seeing things from a stock coming to market perspective over the next couple of months?
I love the measure of our photographer who's not only a photographer for us, but for a photographer for sort of 15 other agencies. I love the measure of an auctioneer, which is not only the auctioneer for us, but he's an auctioneer for another 30, 40 odd agencies. Those guys are at the cutting edge of how much is coming to market. So our photographer gets called before, the property gets advertised by the agent, and our auctioneer gets called even before that because he's always booked out, and you've got to book out a 4-week campaign with him. They're both saying, and these guys are high volume guys, they're saying it is out of control how many photo shoots and auctions have been booked at the moment. So I'm saying to customers that I'm working closely with at the moment, sell now. Use the next 1, 2, 3, and 4 weeks to nail your property and get a good price, because there will be a lot more stock hitting the market in the next month or 2 or 3 ahead. So I think it's going to be a bit of a feeding frenzy. I think I would be selling prior to that feeding frenzy if I was to be selling. So get your business done now, and yeah, get ready for some stock. It's warming up and the restrictions are loosening, that's for sure.
And so with buyers transitioning from the Hunter to the Northern Beaches area, how do they get hold of you, Mark?
Telephone.
Give Novak Properties a call and get in touch with Mark and his team. Pigeon. Yep.
Pigeon, telephone, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, whatever. But no, look, I think it all starts with good old-fashioned advice, which is great, like today. But certainly one thing that I'm really surprised with is how reluctant people are to pick up a phone and talk to a real estate agent because the real estate agent's not making money out of the phone call. Believe it, real estate agents just love to bloody talk. So if you need advice, there is nothing better than calling a real estate agent and just asking the questions direct. They will happily help you. So certainly from our agency, if you guys are coming to rent on the Northern Beaches, buy or sell, it all starts with a phone call. And don't worry if there's not a dollar in front of it. We're always happy to help.
When you've got someone like yourself that's been a career real estate agent since you've been 17, it's you're not in a rush to get anywhere or sell something or do something. As you say, it's more about giving great advice and providing people with the right amount of guidance in your area, which you're an absolute expert in. So where's your office located, Mark?
sunny downtown DY, the center of the universe.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well,
Yeah,
it certainly
yeah.
is a great position to be in down there, and you've got, a mammoth amount of work in front of you, but only too happy to help out clients heading your way. And equally, if you're thinking about heading to the Hunter and you need to transition your home and you're in that Northern Beaches area, then reach out to the incredible Mark Novak for all of your real estate advice.
Or reach out to you if you go and vice versa. And we can't do a video without mentioning that you saved my life.
Well, we did have a good experience last time. We were in the saving lives moment. We were overseas riding bikes for a very good cause.
So what actually happened is Mr. Chris Henry is known as the golden retriever to his colleagues, his real estate colleagues. And what actually happened is when I was in Thailand, we all went on a bicycle ride, to a charity bicycle ride. We us with our customers collected a whole bunch of support money towards these kids in need. Unfortunately, I felt I got a bit excited at the end of the ride, and after riding 550 kilometres in 5 days, we all did. I decided to celebrate and not go to bed. Chris decided to, we all decided this, but then when the sun decided to rise, Chris and I decided to watch the sun rise, and we made a pact. And unfortunately, I can't remember much more after that, except for Chris and Lee Woodward dressing me and throwing me into the back of a bus to the airport so I wouldn't miss my plane. I must note, if I did miss that plane, I would have had to be in 14 days of lockdown in a hotel. Thank you again formally. The care and love these guys have. Actually, one thing on a serious note, for your viewers, this is a special, special, special man. I think if you could design a breed for a real estate agent, someone to look after, nurture, care, work hard, like you are the perfect guy to be doing what you do in your business. So just on I know people are selecting you on face value, but if you dig down deep on this guy, he's an amazing, amazing man, and will serve you well.
Thank you, Mark. You know that the feeling is mutual. There's a lot of love going on.
If we had a camera that morning, it'd be pretty funny in Thailand. But I made it because of you and because of Lee Woodward.
We all got back alive, which is great. Just in time, just in the nick of time.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll catch up down the track. I'd really be super grateful if you could share some comments, probably as we're leading into that Christmas market, just so we can report into our followers on what is actually happening Hunter in and City.
Awesome, love it. Have a great weekend and everything, mate. Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye.
See ya. Bye.